Attention all citizens, this is not a drill, do not shelter in place, avoid enclosed spaces, leave doors and windows open. I wonder if that means they gonna do it. Maybe them folks shoulda listened to him? What do you think? Eustace's question was meant for Verlon, but Verlon wasn't listening. Beside him on the couch, his friend turned white. Oh no, Verlon said with complete disbelief. He jumped up from the couch and ran to the window, looking up into the sky as if the Greys would be hovering in sight. You think they're really going to do it? Eustace joined him at the window and looked around the neighborhood after a quick glance at the sky. Not answering, Verlon ran into the basement. The warning sounded again. Farrell. Hey Farrell, how long did they say we got once they sounded the alarm? Eustace shouted over his shoulder. His eyes were glued to the street. Jerry from across the road was dumping stuff onto his lawn. Clothes. Books. Armloads of stuff. His kids were helping him. We've got less than 10 minutes. The voice answered from down the stairs. Do you reckon I ought to take some stuff outside? Jer and his kids is dumping stuff out there on their lawn. Eustace turned from the window and walked right to the TV and begun unplugging it. Yeah, man. I'm grabbing stuff from down here, important documents and stuff. If you're grabbing the TV, stop it. Get the birds out and go open the car doors. After that, Eustace walked to the top of the stairs and looked down at Verlon, who paused a little surprised to see his friend staring down at him. After that, I want you to start taking our clothes and anything actually worth money out. If every place is turned solid like they says, maybe stuff worth money won't be worth much? Eustace looked as worried as Eustace could. Wow. Dang, man. Good point. Get food and tools. And clothes. With that, Verlon plunged back into the basement. Getting their birds out was the most important thing. The two gray little parakeets chirped angrily their entire jangly jog from the living room to the lawn. By the time Eustace was out on the front lawn with his first armload of food, the entire community was doing the same thing. It filled him with a sense of urgency. When he'd finished with the food and started on the tools from the garage, he finally saw what had been taking Verlon so long. Strapped to a dolly was the big gun safe from the basement, and Verlon was covered in sweat as he wheeled it up the last few steps and out the front door. Good thinking, Eustace shouted as he ran back into the garage. In the garage, he picked up some power tools and figured that there might not be power anymore, and instead started pulling on the big toolbox with the broken wheel. Verlon saw him struggling and moved to help him. As soon as they'd cleared the garage, the alarm that Verlon had set in his pocket went off. It didn't happen, Eustace said, panting. Verlon spoke as he huffed air, we still have a minute at least. They said about 10 minutes. Verlon stumbled to their car and opened the door. Every house on the block was alive with people running and shouting, lawns multicolored patchworks of a life's worth of belongings. Shouldn't we open that? Eustace nodded to the gun safe. I guess, it is a closed-in space. I don't remember the combo though. Do you? Verlon asked. Nah. Do you think it's gonna at that moment every domicile, every box, every fridge, locker, every car and airplane, every enclosed or enclosable man-made space that a human could fit into on the planet Earth was filled with the substance the Greys called dark mud. If the objects were open, the pressure that came with dark mud was released and nothing happened. If the objects were closed, say like a man-sized safe, the pressure from the sudden presence of the dark mud exploded. With something like a man-sized safe, the damage done to the people in the immediate area was extremely lethal. Thankfully for the rest of the neighborhood, most of the people had read the entire warning from the Greys and knew not to bring things like that out onto their lawns. Not everyone was so fortunate. Especially those with homes near them that did not believe that the Greys would do it. Those living next to abandoned buildings were equally unlucky. Shattering explosions rocked every city and town on Earth. Maybe them folks shoulda listened.